I'm Alex James. I've been teaching a master's course in the business school called Strategy for the past 6 months. I had 465 students on this, and the technology we were using to help with the teaching and assessment was a wiki, which students accessed as groups. So we had 59 group wikis, which students used as part of a project to prepare a report on a case study. So they analysed the case study and used the wiki to note down their ideas, to comment on each other's work, and so on. A number of really good benefits to using the wiki. One of the first things that we found was with regard to the international nature of the student cohort. There were 465 students from 40 different countries, so we had a very substantial international mix within the student body. And what we did was, when we set up the wiki groups, we actually divided the students into as diverse a groups as possible. So we tried to make it so that there were as many nationalities as possible in each group, and they were reasonably evenly divided with different genders and so on. So having very diverse groups was one way that we tried to stimulate the international cooperation within the groups, and as a benefit from taking the course, most of the students were taking a Masters in International Management, so getting them together and working in international teams is quite an important part of the learning process. What the wiki helped to do with that was actually it helped those students whose English perhaps wasn't as good in terms of their spoken English. It helped them to contribute to the group much more effectively. And on the reflective statements we had, quite a number of them mentioned the fact that they were able to contribute to the group through the wiki, things which they didn't feel able to express, or perhaps they didn't have the confidence to express them in the team meetings. So what it did was it gave an extra dimension to this international cooperation, and it helped those students whose English speaking skills weren't perhaps as good as their written skills. And one of the issues with having that number of students was that it was very difficult to do any kind of formative assessment. However, we did want to be able to interact and to see what was going on with the students working in the groups, so that if anything was going badly awry with any of the groups, we could step in and intervene. And again, the wikis, because they were open to the educational enhancement people and the teaching team, what we were able to do is we were able to monitor the wikis in a very kind of broad sense, really looking to see what activity was going on, whether people were going in the right direction. And we were able to email groups that hadn't started, chivvy them along a little bit. We were able to put comments encouraging groups that had made a good start and were doing the right thing. So I sort of put comments in myself as a sort of, if you like, an extra member of the team. So that enabled us to give some sort of formative assessment, make some sort of formative comments for students so that they could see they were going along the right lines. In terms of breaking down a large student cohort, putting them into smaller teams seemed to create much more of a collegiate atmosphere, and you tended to find that rather than being lost in those groups, the vast majority of students actually got to know other people other people on the course, and were much more connected in. So I think that there was a lot of positive things that the wiki enabled us to do, which overcame some of the issues that we had with what could be seen as quite a large anonymous student cohort.